Tonight, we're going to be talking about assisted living. As we speak, America is getting older, and the demands and the needs for our senior citizens are growing exponentially. That's why tonight I'm really happy to have with us Kathleen Vandevender of Gilman Park Assisted Living right here in Oregon City. Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah. So assisted living, let's start there, talk with that. There's a whole range of options for care. What is assisted living and where does it fit into that?
Well, assisted living basically is when you need a little bit of care management for your meds, maybe a little bit of help getting dressed, a little bit of help here and there. And it's different from the independent because basically independent, you're still doing everything for yourself. Here, we help as much as the resident needs. So what happens is they do a care plan, and that's where they decide, okay, can you comb your own hair? Do you want somebody to comb it? Do you want help getting dressed? Do you want help getting out of bed? So basically, it's just your ADLs, basically,
ADLs are activities of daily living, right? I remember
yes,
that.
Yes. Oh dear. Yes, sorry. Yes. And so basically what happens is a lot of times people wait too long to go into independent, and they don't need the nursing homes yet or the rehab facilities yet, but they need assisted living. So basically it's trying to stay as independent as possible, but with a little bit of help.
Okay, so we're talking about people who can't live independently on their own.
Right.
But they don't need full-time care. They just need a little assistance with different parts of their life so they can remain relatively independent within a place like Gilman Park. So tell us about Gilman Park.
Oh, Gilman Park's awesome. We have a great staff there. I mean, I've had the opportunity to watch our care staff in action, and they're so conscientious about what the residents need. And the atmosphere, the thing I like about it is when you walk in, you feel no tension, it's just safe and peaceful. And I really like that and you see happy residents because they're cared for, and it's like, I know we use love loosely, but with seniors, that's what they want to feel. They want to feel love and they want to feel at home. So we encourage them to bring their, pictures and as much things as they want to make them feel at home. And Gilman Park's just, I don't know, I have worked in several different buildings over the years, different companies, and I drive an hour to work and I love it. It's amazing. The care staff works together. The management team doesn't just stand aside and say, well, that's not my department. We all jump in and help each other. And it's a really awesome place to live and work.
Okay. So I know from my experience working in universities and how dorm life has changed.
Yes.
Where all of a sudden there's a heck of a lot more amenities.
Yes.
Let's talk about the transition in the last couple of decades for senior living from what used to be the old age home to now being more retirement communities or assisted living communities. Tell us more about the culture of that and what's some of the trends that seniors are demanding.
Yeah, so a lot of them still aren't, we have the mix of the technology because we don't have the baby boomers in there yet. They're still probably 20 years out before they're actually in the assisted living. But the amenities as far as going when you want to go to the store, we have a bus that will take them on, they go to the casino, they go to the ocean, they go a lot of places that you would think, well, that should be for independent living, but it's assisted living. And so we try to touch on, the four needs, basically, your body, mind, soul, spirit, so that every area of a person's life is touched in some way, so that their mind is kept fresh. And the activities are adult activities. We even have happy hour on Fridays.
What do you serve at the happy hour?
Real stuff.
All right.
Seriously.
I'll have to come by for a visit.
Yes. It's actually really fun. We have a gentleman, one of the residents, that is used to be a bartender, and so he knows exactly how much to pour of each thing so it doesn't get overdone, which is nice. But it makes it fun, and you see them socializing quite a bit because they can let their hair down and just be their self, you know, and these are their friends now. And it's really pretty awesome watching that, you know, and them being able to get out and go to the doctor if they want, or, you know, hop on the bus and go to Fred Meyer's. You know, it's all, you know, available to them. However they want to be, you know, as active or not.
So I imagine when somebody first comes to Gilman Park, the first thing you do is an assessment of what their needs are, and that probably crosses all their physical needs, their spiritual needs, their social needs as well. Okay, then you craft what, a plan from that?
Yes, a care plan.
Okay.
So basically our executive director, Heather Lilly, goes out to meet the folks and their family right before they move in and assesses them. Within a month, another assessment is done, and normally a lot of those points come off because they've found friends, they've become more active. It's really like watching a flower bloom, and it's, I don't know, it's pretty awesome. I love that, you know, because it's like you get to see this person that came in a wheelchair, and there's a gentleman there that I actually took him on a tour with his daughter, and he was in a wheelchair, and now he's walking, his hair's combed, he looks all debonair, you know, and just really sharp. And it's because he's found people to connect with, you know.
So a question I have is, when somebody moves from a home they may have lived in for 50 or 60 years, a family home, into a facility like Gilman Park, I imagine there's probably a bit of depression that goes along with that loss of independence.
Right.
How do you deal with that?
Well, a lot of times our nursing staff takes turns going in and visiting when they first come. And so nobody, like we have an RN, we have 2 LPNs, which is licensed practical nurses, and then we have our executive director, who is also a licensed practical nurse. And so that staff goes in, and then the care staff stops in to see if there's any needs. So it's like they're meeting people constantly, so they're not just left by themselves. And we get to sit and talk to them. And I think one of the biggest things that helps the seniors is building that personal relationship with the care staff and the staff that is there at Gilman Park. And it actually gives them a chance to say, like, I go in every morning and open curtains for one lady. It's not because it's part of my job, but it's really kind of cool. I've built that relationship with her, you know. But it's like just having that ability to stop in and say, well, how are you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? Because they're kind of lost too. You know, when they first come in, I don't know what activities are going on. When is lunch? Do I even want lunch today? You know, and so there's a lot of decisions, although we like the choices, you know, and they like the choices, still yet sometimes it's overwhelming because it's like, I don't know what to do next. And so when we have our staff go in periodically, it kind of lifts them out of that. And then we invite the family to come and have dinner with them, you know, a few weeks out. I mean, you know,
so there's just an adjustment period that the vast majority of your residents get past and move into. Okay. So let me ask a question for our general public.
Yes.
Who may not be familiar with the assisted living industry, what are some of the emerging trends? What are people requesting and asking? What do they need? Teach me something new.
Well, one of the things is, it's like the dining room is a huge deal. The food has to taste good, and it's like meat and potatoes and organic. Everything's homemade at Gilman Park. So you don't have to worry about processed foods, you know, and that's one thing. And another thing that our dining service does is give them choices again. It's not just, this is your main course and that's the only choice you have. There's a whole gamut of things they can, if they're not that hungry or they want a salad, they can have a salad. If they want 2 or 3 side dishes, that's what they can have. So it's really kind of hones in on what they want, their desires, instead of this is what we want to serve you. And so that has really helped, I think, a lot.
So they're real foodies.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and some of them that are like, well, I don't really like to eat much, they've tried little bits of things, and they've gotten to where one of the ladies, she's 95, she said, I've gained weight since I moved here. I said, that's a good thing, you know, because it is. It's better for if they fall, any of that kind of stuff with a little bit of cushion. It takes care of them.
Maybe we'll get some food trucks in the city and bring them by Gilman Park.
That would be awesome.
So, a final question. Why did you get into this field? Is it some personal experience you've had?
Well, I'm the youngest of 7. And so I watched my father, who was a pastor and played the accordion, be placed in an adult foster home. He really needed to be in a community because he was a very outgoing person. He loved to make people laugh, you know. And so once this all took place, and my dad, I mean, you know, he lived to be 93, which was great. But I did a study on the senior population, and where living at home or living in a community where there's socialization and activities for the mind, spirit, body, actually gives them an extra 5 to 7 years on their life. It just gives them, like I said before, it's like a flower, watching a flower bloom.
It's not just 5, 7 years physically. It's emotionally, it's quality of life. So.
It is.
Right.
And watching some of them has just been amazing to me, just the change in them. And I think, you know, it helps us thrive because we're helping them thrive.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
If somebody wants to find out more about Gilman Park, where can they go? What's the website?
Gilmanpark.com.
Gilmanpark.com. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, as once again, you know, our society is aging. Facilities like Gilman Park are going to grow. You know, someday we might be there as well. So, as always, I'm Michael Brand. Let's get to work.